Welcome to Moon Mind Temple. In this video, you are about to enter a sacred space, one where silence teaches more than words ever could. Whispers from ancient Zen masters are here to still your mind, open your heart, and anchor your soul. Over the next few hours, allow yourself to drift into a realm where emperors laid down their crowns just to hear a single phrase, a realm where simplicity holds the key to serenity. If this message finds you tonight, it's not by chance. Let us know where you're listening from, because there's something healing about knowing souls around the world are finding stillness together. Find whatever brings you comfort: a warm drink, a quiet room, a gentle breath. These are not simply stories. They are sacred medicines handed down through centuries by those who discovered how to be free even in the midst of chaos. Your journey to deep peace begins right now. Musical note: calming music fades in. Story 1: The Overflowing Cup. In the Meiji era of Japan, when the world was changing rapidly, samurai setting down their swords, Western ideas streaming in like floodwaters, a Zen master named Nanin quietly preserved a deeper wisdom. One day, a university professor came to visit. His mind overflowed with theories, philosophies, and intellectual pride. He'd come hoping to understand Zen, but from the moment he sat down, he launched into a storm of explanations. Master Nanin, in serene silence, prepared tea. He poured slowly into the professor's cup, and kept pouring and pouring. The tea spilled over the brim, running onto the table and down onto the floor. "Stop," the professor cried. "It's full. No more can go in." Nanin looked at him calmly and said, "Just like this cup, you are full of your own thoughts. How can I show you Zen unless you first empty your cup?" That moment pierced through the professor's intellect and reached something deeper, something no book had ever touched. In Zen, we call this Shoshin. Beginner's mind. It means arriving at each moment fresh, uncluttered, open. Not with ignorance, but with humility. Because true wisdom doesn't come from what we know, it comes from what we're willing to let go of. Story 2: Gudo and the Gambler. During that same era of transformation, a wandering monk named Gudo walked the muddy roads of Japan. Though he was the spiritual teacher of the emperor, Gudo often chose to live as a beggar, owning nothing but a bowl and the open sky. One stormy night, soaked to the bone, he came to a small farmhouse. A woman, noticing his state, welcomed him in. She gave him dry sandals, warm food, and shelter. But Gudo noticed her eyes, tired, tear-filled. Her husband, she explained, was a drunkard and gambler, disappearing for days, returning in rage or regret, leaving the family in fear and debt. "I will help him," Gudo said quietly. He handed her coins for wine and food and told her to rest. He would wait. When the husband staggered in near midnight, shouting for food, Gudo met him with warmth. "I was caught in the rain. Your wife took me in. I brought wine and fish. Please, share this meal with me." The man, delighted, drank and ate, and passed out on the floor. Gudo sat beside him all night in still meditation, watching over him like a silent guardian. At dawn, the man awoke, startled to see a monk beside him. "Who are you?" he asked. "I am Gudo, traveling to Edo," came the gentle reply. The man froze in awe. Gudo, the emperor's own teacher, had sat beside him in his shame. He wept. And when Gudo prepared to leave, the man insisted on walking with him. "Just a few more miles," he begged, "and then a few more. Eventually," he said, "I will follow you for the rest of my life." Compassion doesn't preach. It doesn't condemn. It simply sits beside suffering and offers presence. Gudo didn't try to fix the man. He simply loved him. And that changed everything. Story 3: Hakuin and the Accusation. Master Hakuin, known for his sharp insight, lived a quiet life devoted to Zen practice. One day, a young girl in the village discovered she was pregnant. Terrified, she accused Hakuin to protect her secret. The parents stormed into the temple, enraged. "You disgrace our daughter," they shouted. All Hakuin said was, "Is that so?" When the baby was born, they brought the infant to Hakuin. "This is your responsibility now," they demanded. He accepted the child, cared for it with devotion, fed it, changed it, loved it. His reputation crumbled. Students left. Neighbors whispered. A year passed. The guilt overcame the young mother. She confessed the truth: the real father was a local fisherman. The family rushed back to Hakwin, begging forgiveness. Hakwin handed them the child with the same serene expression and simply said, "Is that so?" This is equanimity, a mind untouched by blame or praise, holding peace through all storms. Hakwin's silence wasn't weakness. It was freedom. Story 4. Bankei and the Angry Priest. Master Bankei was known not for what he taught, but how he taught, with presence, simplicity, and kindness. One day, a fiery priest from a rival sect barged into his lecture, upset that followers had left his temple. "Make me obey you," he shouted. Bankei simply smiled. "Come here, and I'll show you." The priest walked closer. "Now step to my left." He obeyed. "Now step to my right." He did. "You see," Bankei said gently, "you're already obeying me. You're quite a kind man." The crowd laughed softly. The priest sat down, his anger dissolved. True power never forces. It invites. Bankei didn't crush pride, he revealed its absurdity with kindness. Story 5, Toyo and the Sound of One Hand. A boy named Toyo, only 12, begged to receive koans, Zen riddles designed to silence the thinking mind. His teacher finally gave him one. What is the sound of one hand clapping? Toyo spent months listening: geisha music, dripping water, the wind, cicadas. But each answer was met with a gentle no. Eventually, Toyo stopped trying to find a sound, and simply listened to silence itself. When he sat before the master again and said nothing, the master smiled. "You have heard it. Some truths cannot be spoken. They must be experienced." Story 6, The Old Woman's Test. In the mountains of China, an old woman supported a monk's practice for 20 years, feeding him, caring for him. One day, she wondered, had he truly grown in wisdom? She sent a village girl to test him, embrace him suddenly, and ask, "What now, master?" The monk coldly replied, "An old tree on a frozen rock. No warmth anywhere." The girl reported back. The old woman, furious, cried, "I wasted 20 years on a stone-hearted fool." She burned his hut to the ground. Spiritual detachment without compassion is just coldness in disguise. Real wisdom sees the person, not just the principle. Story 7, Eschun's Clarity. A nun named Eschun, radiant in presence, received a secret love letter from a monk. She did not respond. The next day, in public teaching, she stood and said, "If your feelings are true, come embrace me now." Gasps filled the hall. The monk, humiliated, saw the truth. Eschun didn't expose him to shame him, but to wake him. Zen compassion sometimes means holding up a mirror so illusions can shatter. Story 8, Ryokan and the Thief. One evening, Master Ryokan returned to his hut to find a thief. "I have nothing to steal," he said softly, "but you've come so far, please, take my robes." The thief fled, confused, arms full of clothes. Ryokan looked up at the moon and whispered, "I wish I could give him this moon as well." This is love without limits. Generosity without judgment. He gave, not to teach, not to correct, but because that is who he was. Closing reflection. These stories may seem ancient, but they echo something timeless. That peace is not found in controlling life, but in meeting life as it is. With an empty cup. With an open heart. With a mind willing to say, "Is that so?" Let these teachings settle into your soul tonight. Let them soften your fears, expand your understanding, and awaken the deep stillness within you. Wherever you are in the world. Whatever you're carrying right now. Know this, you are not alone. And the path to peace is already beneath your feet. Thank you for joining us at Moon Mind Temple. Until next time, breathe gently. Live mindfully. And may the sound of one hand guide you home. They do not demand perfection. They don't require robes, temples, or decades in silent retreat. What they ask, gently, persistently, is something far more radical, that we meet this moment fully awake, fully present, and fully human. Each Zen master in these stories showed us how to live not above life, but within it. They met the world not with avoidance, but with intimate presence. Whether through silence or speech, giving or restraint, they allowed life to flow through them without resistance. That is the heart of Zen, not escape, but embodiment. So tonight, as you sit with your breath, as you feel the weight of your body gently supported by the earth, know that you are not far from these teachings. You don't need to travel to a distant monastery or understand ancient languages. The temple has always been here, in your heart, in this breath, in this very moment. When life confuses you, remember Nanin's overflowing cup, empty your assumptions. When others fall short, remember Gudo's gentle presence, meet them with compassion, not condemnation. When blame or praise comes your way, remember Hakuin's quiet, is that so? Receive it all with equanimity. When false certainty arises, think of Toyo's great doubt, allow yourself to not know, and in that space, let true wisdom appear. When others demand conflict, recall Bankai's quiet power, respond not with resistance, but with stillness that teaches. When the world seems cold or transactional, remember Ryokan under the moonlight, generosity that asks for nothing in return is the most powerful gift. These masters were not different from us. They struggled. They failed. They wept and loved and doubted just as we do. But they remembered again and again to return to the present moment with open hands and an undefended heart. Gentle pause, soft ambient music rises. If anything in these stories spoke to you tonight, hold it gently. Let it settle like mist over a quiet lake. Not as something to memorize, but as something to live. And if nothing spoke to you, that's perfectly okay too. Just being here, allowing yourself to be still, to listen, to breathe, that is enough. Zen is not a goal to be reached, but a path walked step by step, breath by breath. Let this be one step. Let this be one breath. Let this be enough. Closing words, spoken softly. Thank you for walking with us tonight. If your heart feels lighter, if your mind feels quieter, know that you are not alone. There are others listening with you, across oceans and time zones, across languages and cultures, souls seeking peace just like yours. We are connected. Through story. Through silence. Through presence. Until we meet again, may your cup be empty. May your heart be full. And may each moment remind you of the peace that has always been yours.